done a lot of Mikan drills because he gets that ball, and most players need a second. He's straight up before you can even turn around.
I mean, really, that is one of the more true statements. The Mikan drill, you go next to the rim as Morgan misses, ball tipped, and kind of just throw it up left hand, throw it up right hand. Jamesi does that all day. You can tell because everything around the rim for him is automatic. 2 more points right there for Hamilton. Lead is 8. Zion Watt getting ready to check in. Here's John Medley. Uses the screen and travels.
Time and time again we talk about it on this tied court. It's squeaky, and if you have a little bit of a foot shift, everybody in this gym can hear it.
"12 minutes, 45 seconds left to go in the first half. Jalen Reese bringing the ball up the floor for Hamilton. Finds Singh. Singh bobbles. Little mid-range jump shot is short. Rebound. 2-man go for it. Controlled by Watt. Here comes Kennelly. And a reach-in foul. That'll give time for substitutions. Here comes Bobby Stewart, James Marakis for Tufts, and Matthew Rideout back in the game in place of Singh for Hamilton.
I'm curious how the Jumbos will switch up their defensive front now they've got Stewart and Gettings in the game. Bernstein and Jamesi are very good in the 3-2 at stopping players from getting to the, up to the basket, but we'll see how they react now.
Marakis, that's going to be a jump ball. He got held up in midair, and that'll go Hamilton's way.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those where player goes up, no ball movement, it comes down. There's got to be a call. You're choosing foul, travel, or jump. This time they see contact on ball, but no arm, so it's a jump the other way.
Morgan's got Zion Watt on him. Takes a pull-up 3. Short again. Marakis with a strong board. He runs in transition, takes it himself. Ball sticks on the rim, batted around, controlled by Watt. Out to Kennelly. Pump fake, 3-pointer. Is good. Kennelly has not been very aggressive as of late. He had a 4-game span earlier this season where he posted 28 shot attempts, but in his last 8, he has only 22. So good sign for Tufts to get him going early with a 3-pointer. As Kennelly continues to play strong defense, good contest shot, rims out, rebound to Gettings.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the strong defense. Place you noted earlier where Kennelly leads this Tufts team is in the steals category. He's pesky on the outside.
And now calling out the offense is going to send Marakis to the corner. Marakis, screen from Gettings. Goes middle. Jump stop, finds Zion Watt. Shot clock down to 7. Kennelly, Bobby Stewart, finds Gettings. Too strong of a pass. Stewart always looking to find the backdoor cut, but couldn't find him there. Reach in foul for Watt. That's an easy one. 2 hands on Hank Morgan.
Jumbo's really trying to bring the aggressive defense on Morgan. They know he's a threat. Put a lot of pressure on him that one. A little bit too much pressure, but still trying to cause some headaches for the star senior.
So Sharif Nelson in the game for Hamilton. They're running a pretty deep rotation early in this one. Graham Robinson is going to hand off to Morgan. Morgan, stutter step, kicks out, ride out. Help defense comes. Hank Morgan from deep. Rims out yet again. Bobby Stewart controls, but turns the ball over immediately. Reese underneath to the corner. The 3 from Rideout. No good. This time Stewart grabbed again. It'll be a reach-in foul. Either way, it would have been Tufts' possession. So Stewart, 2 strong defensive rebounds, but both times mobbed immediately.
Yeah, and you can almost see, I mean, maybe this speaks a little bit to the way they've been, I talked about how they've been losing the rebounding battle, but winning that turnover battle. Maybe this is something I didn't quite see on the stat sheet. On that one, the Hamilton offensive players don't even go up for the board. They wait for Stewart to come down with it, and then they're hounding him down low immediately. Maybe that's the strategy when these balls are coming off the glass.
Trapping the rebound on the defensive end seems to be a strategy. Underneath Stewart to Gettings. They're going to call a foul on the floor, but certainly seems Hamilton wants to trap off the rebound. Now, if you can get out of that, it's a lot of opportunities for the fast break, which we've seen already a couple times from Marakis and the Tufts offense. 10 minutes now to go here in the first half. Watt will inbound. and finds Stewart. This Tufts offense, a lot of off-ball movement. This time it's Kennelly. He'll find Stewart underneath. Stewart pump fake and draws the foul.
Yeah, and Hank Morgan, the last few fouls, pretty upset with him. Thought there was no contact, but on that one, he doesn't really have much to say. He knows there was a little more contact. Down on the other end, though, we'll see if that trapping yields fruit, because the last one was a little bit more up for debate, so to speak, down on the court.
Stewart's first free throw is good. 3 of the 5 Jumbos on the floor have their jersey untucked, including Stewart. I don't think I've ever seen him play a game with his jersey tucked in.
Yep. He is wearing matching shoes today, though. So.
Oh, that's
an update.
That's big. Hits both free throws and heads to the bench. Bernstein will replace him. It'd be like that sometimes.
Do your job.
Solid minutes from Stewart. Lead is now 13 as the clock ticks below 10 to go in the first half. Nifty spin move. Here's Matthew Rideout. Pull up, mid-range jump shot is pure.
Real efficient play there from the Continentals. Got him some space, got him an opportunity, and Rideout able to make it work.
Tufts starters with Kennelly back in the game. Here's Watt. Inside to Bernstein. They like this matchup with Reese on him. And one. Bernstein finishes at the rack.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about on the defensive end, even after that nice bucket on the last play from Rideout, they're on track for 44 points on the game if we're doing a little math. They averaged 74. So Tufts up to task so far against what's generally a pretty lethal Hamilton offense.
We like to talk about the Tufts offense a lot, but it really has been their defense that has carried them for stretches this season, including, I would say yesterday was a mix of both. They scored 91. They held the opponent to less than 30 in the first half. And now Tufts looking to force up a little back in their 3-2 zone look. You're going to have Watt, Kennelly, and Maracas up top. Ball swatted by Watt.
And this 3-2 looks absolutely impenetrable right now, Jared.
Yeah, doing a good job keeping the ball from getting inside. As soon as it is, it's picked off. Impenetrable the defense is. Now, Hamilton wants to respond with their own. Here's Jamesi. Gonna swing to the corner, good pass. Kennelly swings up top. Jamesi, 4-3. Money.
And I mean, that's just a case of good defense, better offense. Hamilton does the right move, trapping down on the baseline here. The rotations are pretty solid, not a ton of time, but Tufts swings it so quickly.
Zion Watt's length is causing problems. And another steal off the inbound, but they're gonna call, I think, a reach-in foul. This 3-2 zone is a absolute brick wall right now that Hamilton cannot seem to get through.
Yeah, I think it was Bernstein on the back of Reese on that play that got called for the foul.
Inside to Reese, bobbled and taken away. Another turnover controlled by Tufts. Here is Riley now. John Medley will take it up the court. John Medley. Pick and pop. Jamesi doesn't want the 3. He wants to go baseline. Hook shot. Bounces up and in. Just beautiful touch from Scott Jamesi. He might be the only guy in the NESCAC that can make that shot. And boy, does he do it often.
And what can you do in that situation? That was very strong defense, not giving many opportunities, but he goes up with a one-handed floater and gets it from there. Sometimes you just hold your head up and just keep going.
Off glass from Reese, no good. Jamesi with the strong rebound and puts a body into Reese. And now Jamesi going to run point for a little bit. Still has it. Inside to Maracas, defensive breakdown, an assist from Jamesi and a finish from Maracas, and we're already up to a 21-point lead for Tufts. The feisty defense continues. Zion Watt giving Coach Litton some really good minutes. He had 2 threes off the bench yesterday and has done nothing but contribute so far today. He is becoming a very potent piece of this rotation as we near the playoffs.
Yeah, and I mean, with him knocking the ball out there, 4 turnovers on the game for Hamilton, and most of them have just been in the last couple minutes. In the wins against Colby and Amherst, they had 6 and 8 respectively. That's been a key point for them in NESCAC play. So far today, Tufts seems to be the outlier in terms of forcing turnovers against these Continentals.
And when we came into this game, I thought this was going to be a very close one. These are 2 of the best teams in the country, both in the top 20 in the the NCAA Power Index MPI. And these are 2 teams that we'd be expecting to make runs in the NESCAC tournament. But if Hamilton are struggling this much against this strong Jumbo's defense, it's going to be really challenging for them once they get down the stretch in both NESCAC and most likely NCAA play as well.
Sometimes you chalk it up to a bad day. We saw this Jumbo team go in, fight against Wesleyan, and then get absolutely pounded by that Trinity roster. But, you know, you look at Hamilton, they struggled against both of those teams, and now another looking like what could turn into a blowout against Tufts. Those are the top 3 teams in the NESCAC, Trinity, Wesleyan, and Tufts. At some point, you got to show you can play up with the big guys. We'll see. Plenty of time left today for Hamilton to get back into it. The Jumbos, aside from that one blowout, probably feel pretty good. The NESCAC, though, just such a strong conference and looking at potentially 4 teams in the NCAA playoffs.
And if coming today, I thought Hamilton was another one of those big boys. I thought it was a top 4, but it's looking right now like it's a top 3 with how this game is going. So Hamilton really needs to show up if they want to be in that conversation for a NESCAC deep run and or title like they had 2 years ago.
Singh misses the 3. Ball bounces off of James Marakis. Hamilton so far, a paltry 4 of 17 from the field, 1 of 8 from 3. Tufts, 13 for 17, a smoking hot 76.5% from the field so far. And out-rebounding Hamilton as well. Nifty inbounds play, gets 2 for Hank Morgan.
Yeah, and as Morgan gets those 2 off of Klonovic's hustle play on the first half of that possession, I want to bring up, fellas, that old adage about counting chickens and hatching. I mean, yeah, Tufts looks really strong so far. Up 21 in early play. There's 27 minutes of basketball left, and there's 2 more games before we get this NESCAC playoff picture. The Hamilton Continentals are a serious NESCAC competitor. They've had 13 minutes of bad basketball, but that doesn't detract from that.
Marakis scoop layup up and good.
Very true, David. But down the stretch, sometimes those 13 minutes, a rough stretch can knock you out of an NESCAC tournament, knock you out of an NCAA tournament. So, yes, they're playing a rough stretch right now, but they can't have this happen in those more intense, in those more important scenarios they get to down the line.
Meanwhile, Rideout goes up and a beautiful finish, spun it up and in, and the foul. So an and one opportunity for Matthew Rideout. He's been Hamilton's leading bench scorer on the season. He's a career 42.3% shooter from deep and has had 9 games in double digits thus far this season in the starting lineup today, and did not complete the and one right there. 21-point game it remains. Riley, quick trigger. Long rebound to Gettings, throws it back up top. Marakis will reset.
Big hustle play from Truman Gettings.
Marakis spin move to the basket.
Take a bow, James Marakis. There's not much the defender can do when he's just going off like that. Great spin move, able to create some space, get a gap on his defender, and find the layup. Excellent work from the junior guard.
Medley forces another steal. Fast break opportunity, and he will throw it down.
And you saw him thinking about it as he saw him coming up behind him. Do I dunk this or not? He has the space. Gives it a little bit of dressing.
I think the thought was 1 foot or 2 foot. He went for the safe method, 2 feet. On the other end, we'll get a foul on the floor. But the defensive intensity for the Jumbos so far has really been something.
And one thing worth noting, Hank Morgan, who was just fouled there, is only on 2 points so far. He has had double-digit points in every game he's played this season. And if he's not having a good night tonight, it's going to be really tough for the Continentals to get back in this game.
Reese finds him underneath. He dishes to Omar Kalinovic, and he finishes his first points of the game.
And now Hamilton on the game, shooting 30% pretty paltry compared to what they've been doing over the last few games. I mean, we saw, I think, 534 against Colby, even 500s in 2 of their other games, including Bowdoin. This is a team that usually wins with offensive efficiency, and so far that has not been the story today.
Tufts has reached the bonus, so Jamesi will shoot from the line. Jamesi, a 69.6% free throw shooter. He hits the first. It's 1-1, so he'll get one more.
Yeah, I mean, Jamesi, one of those cases where his field goal percentage is around 63. His free throw is 69. There's usually a bit of a bigger gap for most players between those 2 numbers.
And there it is. Jamesi misses the free throw, gets his own rebound, puts it in. So the free throw percentage goes down, and the field goal percentage goes up.
Converging on a mean here.
An unbelievable player. And here on the other end, Reese with Truman Gettings on him. He'll go up and draw the foul as well.
Jamesi's field goal percentage is the strongest in the NESCAC, and second to him is Hank Morgan. So 2 of the best shooters in the conference here. Jamesi really just able to get to go anywhere in that range around the basket. Very powerful shooter.
Reese,
Morgan
meanwhile.
Morgan, on the other hand, an 85% free throw shooter. Usually more in line with the guys you see shooting those field goal numbers.
And Morgan, the NESCAC leader in free throws attempted and free throws made. Jalen Reese, the line from New Hampshire. He was a starter his freshman year in 23-24 last season, but only had just re-entered the starting lineup after playing a bench role for most of this season. He knocks down both free throws. This press continuing for Hamilton without much success so far. We'll see if that changes. John Medley. Gettings now. Medley looking to find Riley off ball. Finds him. Now inside. Jamesi. Jump hook, no good. Reese controls the rebound.
Give the credit on that last play to Kolanovic, standing up against a Scott Jamesi low shoulder turnaround hook. Easier said than done.
Kolanovic, mid-range jump shot was an air ball.
As I was speaking.
Underneath the Reese. Can't get it to go. Nothing going right for Hamilton on the other end. Gettings finishes at the rim. Great full court pass from John Medley.
The Jumbos are working so well on transition so far this game, able to get a lot of opportunities where they're facing a Hamilton defense that's not set. In that case, finding Gettings with the opportunity. Great pass from Medley.
Jack Stowell, the sophomore from Falmouth, Maine, is in the game now. He drives to the rim. His floater is short. Hamilton getting to the basket but not finishing recent possessions. Medley in the corner. He'll pump fake, go to the basket, and get rejected by Reese. Ball goes to Riley from the corner. It's good.
And there's no one else in the Jumbos you want with a wide open three-pointer than Dylan Riley. He is leading the team in three-point percentage and second in the NESCAC. He's a very strong three-point shooter, hitting a 40% on the season. So really, if you give him an open look, he's going to hit that 4 times out of 10, 5 times out of 10.
I mean, in fairness to Hamilton, they didn't really give him the open look. Reese with a great chase down block. Probably not how Coach Litton drew up that play, but all's well that ends well, and Dylan Riley's catching that every time.
So 2 minutes and 42 seconds left here in the first half. We were expecting a competitive game. It is a 30-point lead right now for the Tufts Jumbos, and really, all you got to look at, Tufts is shooting 18 for 24. I believe now 19 for 25 from the field. That's over 75%. And I think what's also important to note, they've only taken 6 3-pointers. The offense, as we've said, is really just taking what the defense gives them, and the defense has given them a 30-point lead.
Yeah, I mean, this offense is just a well-oiled machine right now. They're working perfectly. They're responding to the defense on every play perfectly. I'm not surprised that they're shooting that percentage. They're not just shooting the lights out on fallaways, turnarounds, and bad shots as the time expires. These are all good workarounds, smart plays. They're getting the looks they want from every player. And, I mean, if this keeps up, if Coach Stockwell can't find a bit of a solution to the problem that is the Tufts offense, they'll run away with this one.
And this is quite
more than they already have.
This is quite uncharacteristic for this Hamilton defense. They're averaging 65 points allowed per game, which is 7th in the NESCAC, yet 35th in the nation. Shows how strong the defense is in the NESCAC as a whole. And right now, they'd have to shut down the Jumbos in the second half in order to allow 65 points today. It's looking like a bit of a runaway score from the Jumbos.
I am wondering if Hamilton's dealing with some injuries. We saw Kehani and Owen Kane start yesterday, neither of them in the lineup thus far today. We're seeing guys get minutes that maybe we wouldn't otherwise. Rideout now trying to decipher this zone defense.
And on the Tufts
Shot
side
clock
also,
down. Sharif Nelson no good. Ball fought for by Kennelly. Third attempt at a shot is good. That's Rideout.
Yeah, Lucas Schmidt also getting his first minutes for the Jumbos. The freshman has 68 minutes on the season, so another example of one of these underclassmen generally not in your go-to lineup getting minutes here in the first half when you've got this much of a lead.
Foul on Stowell is called. Lucas Schmidt indeed in the game, the freshman from Toronto.
And Schmidt has an impressive 1v1 game. When we see him on the ball, he can make something happen. He can have some creative output, which will be good in the long term for Jumbos as they look to replace someone like James Marakis. So good to have more experience for these first years right now.
Last time Jamesi was at the line, he split a pair, but actually got a 4-point play, a 3-point play, I guess. Got his own rebound and put it back in, made the first free throw here. Now a 29-point lead. Second free throw is good, and a 30-point lead.
And that's 50 points with 2 minutes left to play in the half. The centennial mark is not something you see often in NESCAC basketball or D3 college basketball at all, but Tufts so far is on track for that mark.
The Jumbos got close to it last night with that 90-point performance against Amherst. They had 51 at the half yesterday, so if they can get one more basket today, they will beat that halftime mark, which was so impressive yesterday.
And I mean, I believe it was 51-19 yesterday, so maybe the most shocking thing about this scoreline so far is that it's Tufts' worst first-come outcome of the weekend, first-half outcome.
Gettings looks to put it in reverse and doesn't get it to go. Now fast break.
I think that there from Gettings speaks of a team that is winning by 30. I don't think he would try that if the game was closer, but unable to get it to fall. Would have been quite the moment if he did.
Rideout. Mid-range fadeaway jump shot is good. That's a tough shot over Jamesi.
And Rideout seems like trying to drag his team through the nail back into this thing. He's catching heat a little bit, but the deficit's still looming large.
Rideout leading Hamilton with 9 points thus far. Hit a 3 on that previous possession.
And they've all been, I will mention as well, hard-fought buckets in the teeth of the defense.
Yeah, the Tufts defense has not given up really any easy, clean looks thus far tonight. Now under a minute to go in the first half. We'll see Kennelly at the line. His free throw is long. Chebesi puts a man on the ground, gets the rebound. Finds Medley. He finds Watt. A deep three from Watt is long as well. Fought for by Gettings. Tipped away by Kennelly, but controlled by Hamilton. Here's Rideout. 4-3. Rims out. Board stripped by Medley. He'll look for Watt. Watt on the fast break is grabbed and fouled. They're going to call that an intentional foul, I believe.
Yep. I mean, I think it was clear path to the basket. Rideout knows he's not getting there, but a lot of the times if you kind of just grab low, you get away with that as going to strip the ball and not an intentional foul. This time the ref thinks otherwise.
So intentional foul works as a technical. That'll be free throws and the ball for Tufts University. And it was a smart heads-up play by Medley. He stripped the ball on the other end and got it down the court in a hurry. We've seen that several times today, just very smart basketball on the fast break as Watt hits both free throws.
Yeah, and I mean, not exactly the dream end of the half for Hamilton. You're thinking you're going on a little bit of a run here. You have that open Rideout three that rims out. You think maybe you draw it a little closer. Then it misses, ball stripped, 2 free throws and a ball with 24 seconds. They will get another look, though, as the shot clock down to 20.
Jamesi walks into a double team and gets called for a travel. He says, my bad. So it will be one final possession for Hamilton.
And Cooper's shoe looks like it's a little flexed in front of the Continental bench after keeping Jamesi out of the paint. And in fairness to him, that is something worth flexing about.
8 seconds to go now. Rideout with the ball. He'll look for the final shot. Crossover inside to the corner, tipped by Medley. He'll throw it back to Rideout, and the shot clock expires. That'll be the end of the first half. Tufts University on top, 52-25, a 27-point lead as they've dominated on both ends of the court thus far. We will be back for the second half on JumboCast. We are back here at Cousins Gymnasium. 52-25 is your score in favor of the Tufts University Jumbos. One man we had our eyes locked in on coming into today, the NESCAC leading scorer, Hank Morgan. But as you can tell on the score sheet, he hasn't had as big of an impact as he might have hoped. Only 4 points and 2 assists so far on the day. Tell me a little bit about what we expected, Jake, and what we've seen so far.
Yeah, of course. Hank Morgan came into this game averaging 22 points per game in the season, 26.9 in NESCAC play. He has been immense. He's been all over the place. Has not had a game this season where he hasn't had at least 10 points, and that 10-point game was a down game for him. So he has been so strong. Also shooting 57.5% from the field, second in the NESCAC behind only Scott Jamesi. And last time when they played, he was crucial in their victory against Tufts, scoring 26 points over in Clinton, New York, when the Continentals defeated the Jumbos. Alongside that, he has been so strong across the board. He leads the NESCAC in field goals made, free throw attempts, free throws made, points scored, points per game. He's top 3 in the NESCAC in field goal attempts, field goal percentage, and free throw percentage. He also leads the team in rebounds and steals. So he's across the board a very strong player. However, in this game, we haven't really seen much from him so far. He's 2 for 6 from the field, scoring only 4 points so far. He's 0 for 3 from behind the arc, 2 assists, 1 turnover, 1 foul, no rebounds. So if the Continentals want any hope of getting back in this game, down 30 at halftime, they need their star player. They need their top player in the team, in the conference, really, to show up, to put points up. And we came in saying it can't just be the Hank Morgan show, but we need to see some of the Hank Morgan show in this game.
Certainly. For Tufts, the word of the week was bounce back last weekend. It was a good look for a team that hoping the D3 Wesley arguably the best team in the country. They get it done in Connecticut. Wesleyan out-attempted Tufts on the free throw line 23-8, and only two Tufts scorers hit double digits as they fell in a close one, 69-66. Hoping they would bounce back from that with a win over Trinity. Didn't happen. Big-time blowout, 81-45. No Tufts scores hit double digits. Paltry, 14.3% from 3. Jamesi, under 10 points. Overall, not a good showing. So the week since has definitely been focused on one thing, and that has been bounce back. We saw it in a big way last night against Amherst. 51 first-half points. That was the second most they had in a half this year. Came in today, scored 52. And they shot almost 60% from the field, over 40% from 3 in a very convincing win. Then come out today and in the first half put up 52 on 68% shooting, 57 from 3. It has been a bounce-back weekend thus far for the Jumbos, hoping that they can put it together in the second half. We also saw at halftime a nice little reunion celebration for the 2019-20 Tufts University Jumbos team, the only NESCAC championship winning team in this program's history. They beat Colby in double overtime to secure that win. Luke Rogers, who's in the building, had 25 points and 19 rebounds. Eric Savage, who hit a almost buzzer-beating improbable 3 to send that game to overtime, had 27, 12, and 6. That team defeated Western Connecticut State in the first round of the NCAA tournament, and then RPI in the second round before the Sweet 16 was unfortunately canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We honor that team today, the only NESCAC championship winning team in program history. They are in the building. And now we are underway in the second half. Bernstein running the pick and roll medley. Here's Bernstein, draws the foul. Bernstein had 11 points in the first half, and that's usually a good sign for this team. In all 4 losses this season, Bernstein has had less than 10 points and 10 rebounds. And when he hits 10 rebounds, they are undefeated, although he has 0 rebounds so far today. 3-pointer, no good from Riley, but Bernstein tips it up and controlled Hank Morgan. Put it back in.
I mean, yeah, Jared, you went over those 2 lapses for Tufts against Wesleyan and Trinity, but the Wesleyan game really, I mean, against that undefeated #1 ranked in the country team, they were up 3 with 6 minutes to play and then just kind of couldn't get their shots to fall down the stretch. Only 4 points over the last 5 minutes in front of a really rowdy, loud Wesleyan crowd. The Trinity game is really the only major lapse for this team on the season so far, and you have to think that Coach Linton, especially with today, is happy with how the Jumbos look going into the playoffs.
And maybe you chalked up as a loose ball fought for by Jalen Reese. Maybe you chalked up that loss to Trinity. You were on the second half of a back-to-back coming off an emotional loss. This week, you win the first game of the back-to-back, and it doesn't seem like you've shown any sign of taking your foot off the gas. So at the very least, an adjustment made by Coach Linton and the Jumbos as Singh comes the other way for Hamilton.
We just saw the replay there of Singh's layup that he was able to get. Good points to start off the half for the Continentals. Look to build off of that moving through the rest of the season. The rest of the game, sorry.
Yeah, and I mean, the Amherst win, obviously really solid for the Jumbos, but that's an 11-10 team that's 2-5 in conference play so far. Definitely weren't looking like the same caliber of opponent as this Hamilton team, and so to see them performing this way so far, even more encouraging. That being said, Hamilton coming out of the gates fairly hot in the second half, and it's a 23-point game, 18 minutes. Anything is possible.
And now a 2-3 zone from Hamilton, giving the Jumbos a little bit of trouble. Bernstein offensive rebound and puts it back up and in.
Even before that Bernstein rebound, against most teams, a baby floater from the free throw line is a shot you're generally happy to give away. It's a low, high risk, kind of low reward in terms of just getting 2 points shot. Scott Gemesi is an outlier in that regard. Most players are not efficient from there. He is.
Singh now pull up three, short rebound to Maracas. He wants to run. Double team comes. He'll find Bernstein in the middle.
And for the Jumbos, this is also a bit of a revenge tour this weekend. They lost to both Amherst and Hamilton in a bit of a NESCAC slide they had last year. But this year, able to dispatch Amherst pretty easily last night and looking to do the same here against Hamilton.
Going to call an over-the-back foul on Gemesi as he fought for the rebound.
One thing last year they struggled with was beating that Bantam side, Trinity. 3 losses to them that last year, being knocked out in both the NESCAC and NCAA tournament by the Bantams, and they struggled again out in Hartford last weekend. So that'll be a side the Jumbos will have to beat at some point if they want to make a deep NESCAC or NCAA run.
Rideout, the leading scorer on the day for Hamilton, gets the ball to the leading scorer on the season, Hank Morgan. Guarded one-on-one by Riley. Morgan wants the shot. He'll take it and get it to go. First points of the half for Hank Morgan.
Another low chance shot there that Morgan was forced into, but again, when it's a top player, sometimes he can get those to work, and he'll take anything to get on the board and get rolling at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about that Trinity team. Sometimes there's a roster that just seems to have your number, and you have to think for Tufts, the path to a NESCAC tournament is going to run through Hartford, Connecticut.
Meanwhile, liquid basketball from the Jumbos. Ball barely hits the floor as they pass it all the way around for a Gemesi floater. Lead back up to 25.
It seems like the Jumbos, the path will certainly run through Connecticut in the very least, as the NESCAC tournament will likely be hosted in Middletown if the Wesleyan Cardinals can hold out. But either way, having to defeat one of those two powerhouses in Connecticut will be a challenge for the Jumbos.
Early timeout for Hamilton in a 23-point game. And you have to remember, this is a Hamilton team that was under 500 a year ago. They've been inconsistent really over the last decade under Adam Stockwell. 11-14 last season under Coach Stockwell. They've got 9 seasons over 500, 4 seasons below or at 500, but they have won 20 games 3 times in his tenure, including in 2022. Now, they entered today on a 5-game win streak, which we'll talk about a little bit later, but they came into today 12-0 on the road. A very impressive feat this deep into a season, and they are going to have to dig themselves out of a hole if they want to move to 13-0 on the road today.
Seems very likely though that the Continentals will be able to reach that 20-win mark again this season. They've got 2 more games after this one against Williams and Middlebury, who last year were quite strong but have had weaker seasons this year. So the Continentals will be the favorites in both of those matches. Alongside that, you got to feel if they get those 2 wins, and if they fall tonight, they'd be at 19. One more win between the NESCAC tournament and the probable NCAA tournament feels quite likely for this Continental side.
Probing this zone defense, get it inside easily. Gemesi gets the roll.
Yeah, you talk about Coach Stockwell here since 2011. Already 2 NESCAC Coach of the Year awards in 18 and 23. One thing I want to point out is there have only been 4 head coaches for Hamilton since 1951. This is a team that finds their guy and rolls with his basketball philosophy. Possibly the most secure job in America is the Hamilton head coach, and Stockwell has been no different. I was telling Jared earlier, also a professional basketball player in Northern Ireland.
Hey, Tufts football head coach is a pretty secure one too.
Yeah.
We saw that team didn't win a game for 4 years, but Coach Savetti's done a great job getting that program back into competition. On the other end, here's Bernstein. Looked like he might have traveled, got away with it, and put it up and in.
How did that work? He was smothered there, but somehow manages to get up, get the ball in, and sometimes your height can just be such a good thing for a player like Bernstein, who is the tied tallest player in the NESCAC, standing at 6'11".
On the other end, Hank Morgan fights through traffic. Bernstein fouls him, and he gets the deuce. So an and one opportunity. Stewart will enter for Bernstein. So we'll see the Stewart and Gettings big man duo that we were pretty used to a couple seasons ago.
Yeah, and up until that play, Hank Morgan, 6 points, makes it 8 with a chance for 9 here. Again, an uncharacteristic over 4 from deep so far. They've got to hope that that's a fire starter play for him that gets this team rolling.
He does miss the free throw, however. Jumbo's looking to move quickly. Riley always looking for a shot. Maracus now. Stewart sets the screen. Double team comes. Got to get out of it. Medley gets it to Stewart. Free lane to the rim. He'll go up and get rejected by Jalen Reese. Stewart showed too much of the ball and paid the price.
And Reese does well to keep it in bounds on the sideline, but then can't scoop it to the right spot, and it's out of bounds on the side.
Got a replay there of that crazy block there from Reese, shutting down Bobby Stewart, who had quite the space going in.
Over pursuit on the ball. Here comes Medley. He throws it up, and a beautiful floater over 2 outstretched arms.
And there we see both the positives and negatives of an aggressive defense. We saw the block work for Reese and the Continentals, but then Morgan comes in a bit too strong on Medley, able to get around and get the jumper.
On the other end, scoop layup from Morgan is butter.
And Morgan's really started off the second half a lot better than that first half. Already on 10 points now. 8 points in the second half. Sorry, 6 points in the second half. He's come out strong, which is exactly what the Continentals need.
He's finding success attacking the rack. Here comes Gettings the other way, tries to do the same, and draws the foul.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it. You can't really over-exaggerate how abnormal 6 points and a half is for Hank Morgan. I think the last 4 games are, 25, 27, 23, and 29. He's a player that consistently puts up 20 pretty much no matter who he faces in conference competition.
Well, his streak of double digits is not going to end as he's reached 10 points on the night.
Start to wonder if fatigue might have an effect on him, though. He played 37 minutes last night against Con. He plays 34 against Colby and 38 against Bowdoin in their last 3 matches. So he has been playing almost every minute the Continentals have had so far. So at some point that takes a wear on a player, especially after doing this for 4 years.
Morgan remains in, running point. He'll find Singh. Singh, a very contested jump shot, gets blocked by Medley. He's a strong defender. Here comes Tufts the other way. Medley tries to throw an alley-oop to Gettings. Says, my bad, maybe an ill-advised pass. Not sure what the result would have been, but out of bounds, and now Singh will look the other way.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Hank Morgan's role really over the course of those 4 years increase pretty steadily. Only started 4 games as a freshman, then had 14 a game in that sophomore campaign where this team won the NESCAC. Last season, all of a sudden, he's D3 Hoops All-Region and All-NESCAC first team. And now leading the league in scoring. Steady and solid development throughout his career.
Would certainly not be shocked to see Hank Morgan get that All-NESCAC and All-Region honor again, possibly even a front runner for NESCAC Player of the Year. But his team will need to get a little bit stronger at this point to get back in this game.
Kennelly throws it up. Not sure if that was a pass or a missed layup, but either way, it's finished on the other end by Truman Gettings. A highlight reel play for the Jumbos. Kennelly goes right, throws it up, and finished by Gettings. He'll get one more attempt at the line, and this Jumbo team is not looking to give up their lead without a fight.
And you see Kennelly laughing as he finds his way to the perimeter. You have to think that an assist on the score sheet is a happy outcome for him.
That's what you say. It was a pass. It was a pass, I swear.
I wouldn't have missed by that much, man. Come on.
How'd your IM team won this weekend? Last weekend?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Oh, Morgan feigned a deep 3 right there. He's not going to take it yet. Goes inside, back out to Morgan. Off the dribble, Hezzy, and an on-the-floor foul from Gettings.
And Morgan all of a sudden playing some DIY basketball on the offensive end. So far it's been working, taking it to the rack on his own a couple possessions in a row, drawing fouls, getting buckets.
It's running through Morgan right now. He looks for Singh on the wing. And he'll look to reset. Morgan, a deep three. Butter.
For a little update about what's going on around the NESCAC in New London, Conn College is up 39-29 against the Amherst Mammoths. Quick replay here of Hank Morgan's three-pointer. And then in Williamstown, Williams down 10 against Bowdoin, who has not had a good season so far in the NESCAC, but be a big win for the Polar Bears if they can pull it off. Finally, out in Middlebury, Vermont, Middlebury up 20 against Colby. That would be a big win for them. Colby has had a solid season so far in the NESCAC, so that win for Middlebury would be huge for their NESCAC playoff chances. And good for the Continentals as well, as they are fighting with Colby for the 4 seed. So Colby losing here would be very helpful for the Continentals' chance of hosting a playoff game out in New York.
Meanwhile, Morgan now up to 13 points on the game. That was his first three-pointer. He's 6 of 13 from the field. Ties Matthew Rideout for the team lead with 13 points. On the Tufts side, it's been Scott Jamesi, 20 points. He's 8 of 11 from the field on the season. That's his 7th game this season with 20 or more points. Bernstein with 15 as well, and he's a perfect 7 for 7 from the field so far. 15 points in 12 minutes for Bernstein, as Truman Gettings has gotten a good run off the bench. 12 minutes and 41 seconds left to go. The lead is 27 for Tufts, 67-40.
And we said going out of the half that Morgan needed to step it up, and he certainly has. 9 points in these first 8 minutes of the second half, but it's going to take a bit more than that, though, for the Continentals to break down this 27-point lead. The Jumbo is still rolling.
Both teams still looking to play physical defense. At least a pseudo press to make the Jumbos uncomfortable. Stewart and Gettings remain in the game alongside John Medley, Zion Watt, and Liam Kennelly. Ball moving around the perimeter, looking to get it inside to Stewart, and they do so. Gettings was available underneath. Left hand from Stewart, no good. Gettings now gets the ball stripped and controlled by Reese. Here comes Morgan. To the wing, three-point shot, right out, no good. Strong board from Medley. He'll try to go downfield, down court, Not a good idea. Foul on Gettings. Right out was there.
Medley actually 5th in the nation in his assist-to-turnover ratio. Very, very strong from that front, but that turnover will bring him down a little bit. He's been very ambitious from those strips and rebounds in the basket, finding those quick breakaways, and they've worked quite well so far this game. Just that one, maybe a little bit ambitious.
Now Medley looks for the outlet as soon as he gets the ball off the rebound. It's what they tell you to do. Sometimes maybe a little bit aggressive with it, but the stats show he's been one of the better passers on this Tufts team so far this year. Morgan takes a bit of an awkward step, but will look to reset, drives left, and a foul on Watt. Watt has reached in a couple times so far today, been playing some physical defense. That will be his second foul.
I think both of them were reach-ins on Hank Morgan, putting a lot of pressure on the senior.
Morgan to inbound now. Having a hard time finding someone. Try to get it to Singh. Singh keeps it inbounds just by the skin of his teeth. Back to Singh in the corner. Air ball. Rebound to Rideout. He fumbles with the ball and throws it off the backboard, and now Watt controls it. He's getting grabbed. No call so far, and finally gets it to Bernstein. A chaotic possession, but Jamesi and Bernstein now back in the game for Tufts. Kennelly will call out a set.
Watt was all over the place on that defensive play, making the challenge on the inbound and then getting the challenge on Singh, and then finally stopping Rideout at the hoop and getting the rebound. Excellent work from Zion Watt as he passes the ball to the Continentals.
Pull-up three is well short from Hank Morgan. Aggressive offense now. Back to the top. Three ball is good. Connor Jenkins. He had 19 points and 5 threes against Stockton in November, but has yet to score in double digits since then. Gets on the board there with a three-pointer.
That was a tough game for the Continentals against Stockton, the number 15th ranked team in the MPI, one of the Continentals, 4 losses this season. Certainly will be another NCAA tournament team.
Kennelly inside, Jamesi, jump hook, money.
All day tonight and tomorrow. I mean, drop it to Scott Jamesi low and let him go up with the hook. That's classic.
Maracus gets it to Kennelly. Kennelly pump fakes inside. Jamesi, no hesitation, and he's up to 22 points now on the day. 9 of 12 shooting. It's the type of efficiency that is just so hard to come by, especially from a non-center. Really, he's more of a power forward. Coming into today, however, you look at the scoreboard, Tufts up 69-43. Hamilton was on a 5-game win streak entering today. If this score stands, that win streak, it will be over. And you want to look at what happened, Jake. Tell me what's gone wrong and what did they do right coming into today?
So coming into today, they have been so strong on offense in these last 5 games. 78 points per game, 5 more than their season average. They're definitely not going to hit that 78-point mark tonight unless we see some insane scoring in this last 10 minutes. They also have not been shooting as effectively tonight as they were in that time. They have a 25% field goal percentage tonight when they've been shooting nearly 50% from the field. That's, if you can't get your shot to go, you're not going to be able to put up the points that they need to face a team like the Jumbos. They've been just dominant in those games. The turnover margin as well, plus 27. Today, however, they have been not doing as strong in that category, putting up, -5 turnover margin for the Continentals tonight.
Actually, I think Tufts is winning the turnover margin. Sorry about that. But even then, if you look at the scoreboard, you're winning the turnover margin and you're down by 26. Something's not going right. That was mostly, I think we look at the rebounding battle has just been a complete blowout for Tufts, 31-17, especially on the defensive end. If you're not getting defensive rebounds, you're not getting possessions. And we've seen that so far today. And you want to see that Tufts and Hamilton, they've got the same number of three-pointers made, but Hamilton's taken 15 more as Morgan gets all the way to the basket and scores yet again. So the second half has been mainly Hank Morgan for Hamilton after we saw Matthew Rideout succeed in the first half.
And the rebounding thing is something that we talked about coming into this game, that the Hamilton team needs to at least cut their losses in the rebounding department. The Jumbos are very good there with both Jamesi and Bernstein, very strong on the boards, but they have not done very well today. Another almost nope, not quite there, but another almost offensive rebound for the Jumbos as the Continentals finally able to end the Jumbos' possession with a good rebound.
That was Bernstein's first miss of the day, and now on the other end, Hank Morgan, who is trying to take over this game by himself, draws the foul and will go to the line.
Yeah, I was about to say, sort of a once-in-a-blue-moon situation. Bernstein's so good against contact down low. You talked about Hamilton's efficiency over these last few games, by the way. Okay, today the 3 points not falling. In the game against Conn College, they shot 500 from 3. Elite. 450 against Bowdoin. Elite. But then you look at the Colby game. .263 from 3-point. And yet they win the game 83-75 against a team that was on a 4-game win streak. The way they do it is with their shooting down low. When they can't get the deep ball to fall, they turn inside. They shot 67% from inside the arc in that game. So we know this is a team that can win even when their deep ball isn't falling. Today, though, they haven't been able to make those adjustments.
And part of it, maybe we talked about some guys in their starting lineup not in the game today, but still a long way to go as Maracus tees up a 3 off the front of the rim. Jamesi offensive board. He wants to go up with the left, throws it off the glass, and Morgan controls it. Morgan's got his eyes up court. Hezzy behind the back, loses the ball, and he'll find Jenkins.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the roster for today. I mean, interesting to see Kehani, Rob, and Kane out of the lineup. Consistent 5 to 10 point guys for this team. Role players, you know, you can sub in for a spurt of energy and a couple buckets.
Morgan having no problem getting to the rim and scoring another layup there.
And it's a 20-point game. Seems like a pretty big deficit in basketball, but that's the closest it's been in a while. This Hamilton team starting to show signs of life.
Maracus hesitates on the 3. He'll get it back. This time, he'll go to the rim. Pivots, finds Medley. Medley back to Maracus. He'll take it this time. And it will go off the top of the backboard and out of bounds.
Maracus seemingly trying to test his range in these last few minutes, taking 2 deep threes. Neither of them quite able to work, but when you're up by 20, he's willing to try some things out that maybe he wouldn't try in other stages of the game. Like playing on the game state here. Going back around the NESCAC, though, the Colby team has gotten within 10 out in Middlebury. 12 points to 4 in the second half. Still down 10, though, against the Panthers. Colby currently 4-3 in the season, only behind.
Oh!
Big foul on the other
Sorry.
end. Bernstein went up and got dragged down. He'll get 2 shots at the line. They're not going to call this one an intentional foul. Maracas found Bernstein on the break, and Singh was the one to bring the contact.
Yeah, sorry, forgot I was on the air for a second there. That's a hard contact foul.
Whoa.
Maracas does well to pull it away, running the court. Good drop-off pass to Bernstein, and to send him to the line is honestly a best-case scenario for Teja Singh.
Just to finish off what we were talking about there before Bernstein was taken down. Colby currently 4-3 in the season to Hamilton's 5-2. So Colby losing tonight is huge for the Continentals to maintain their 1-game advantage, staying in 4th place if they are not able to get this comeback off. So alongside that, Williams also losing, and that is the team in 6th place. So that's another good result for the Continentals. So they'll be happy. While they're not happy about what's happening in Cousins, they'll be happy with what's going on around the NESCAC.
And as Bernstein goes 1 for 2, that's a similar situation. There, okay, tail of the tape here. On the season, Josh Bernstein shoots 64% from the field and 57% from the free throw line. And once again, case in point, get the free throw of the ball, it's back to him, it's guaranteed.
And now to the player who takes the most free throws in the NESCAC, Hank Morgan will go back to the line.
On the other end, Maracas, strong drive and laid it off to Bernstein. Maybe can't count that as a dunk, but it's pretty much as close as you can get. Bernstein has been killer around the rim so far today, and it's just so fun to look back and watch how far he's come as a player on the offensive end. From kind of being a raw 6'11", big who, you're that tall, but it's not as easy to finish as you might think. We saw kind of some struggles around the rim, maybe the first couple times he got in the game 3 seasons ago, but every game that goes by, it seems like he gets more and more confident and more skilled around the rim to the point where he's pretty much automatic and he fully plays to that 6'11" frame that he has. He's only a junior. Jamesi's only a junior. Maracas is only a junior. We're going to see a team next year as well that still has a lot of room to grow and is already a very, very skilled basketball team. Coach Litton has done a great job. Maracas, no good on that. Board fought for another offensive rebound for Jamesi. Cross-court pass to Maracas. Easy pass to Medley. Long on the three-pointer, so the Jumbos can't get their threes to fall the last couple possessions. Here's Morgan open on the break. Takes it and makes it.
And, I mean, that's setting yourself up when you're leaving Hank Morgan wide open from 3. He's not going to miss that shot. Back to Bernstein, I think I saw in an interview, he started playing basketball his sophomore year of high school. For a player playing at this level, remarkably late. And you can tell that we're still seeing his game develop even today, better every season, as you mentioned.
Medley goes underneath and throws it off a Hamilton player. That was off Graham Robinson.
Worth noting, though, Hank Morgan up to 24 points. 20 points in the second half. He has heard our request for him to come out to play.
He has turned it on, and the lead is now under 20. Dylan Riley, the sharpshooter, wants to respond, but he's no good. And Morgan, he wants to score yet again and get this game to a more manageable position. Singh from the corner, three-pointer, money!
And all of a sudden, it's ice cold on this end, and nothing can miss on the other side. Tufts needs an answer, 15 points.
Well, it looked like at one point a game that was closed completely off for the Continentals. This game is getting a little bit dicey for the Jumbos now. They need to get some good offensive action in order to put this one away.
Maracas feigns the three ball. Inside, Bernstein. He'll get back to Maracas. Maracas takes it. Bounces up to Jamesi and the offensive board. Back up and in.
And he mentioned this Hamilton team does very well away. I think part of it comes to this away contingent of fans they've got here, making a lot of noise, doing quite well to get their team hyped up.
Yeah, the Hamilton stands filled an entire half of Cousins here as
Singh
splashes too.
With his second three in as many possessions. And it's a 14-point game here at Cousins Gymnasium. The offense has come alive for Hamilton. Singh and Morgan are lighting the Jumbos up from downtown.
And we said it can't just be the Morgan show. And we didn't see the Morgan show in the first half. We're certainly seeing it in the second half. But Singh has come out to play as well, putting up, he's on 13 11 now, and has had 6 in the last few minutes. He has been very strong, the senior from Seattle.
And Singh is a real interesting player. It's his 3rd year as a starter, over 10 points per game in every season he's played in. But this year has been really a big step back from last season. He was at 48% from the field and 40% from 3 last year, just a sharp shooter. This year down to 39% from the field and 29.9% from 3. The efficiency has not been there. Last season, he had a game last season with 8 threes. He had 16 games last year with multiple threes. Only 8 games this season, now 9 with multiple threes. So maybe seeing him get into a bit of a rhythm. Clearly he's a guy they trust. He was a big part of that team last year, although they didn't have a lot of success in the win column. He's going to be a big part of any potential comeback here today. The lead is 14.
Yeah, and I mean, you know what they say, shooters shoot. Perhaps this season, not at the efficiency mark he was at in the past, but it's very clear that he still has that confidence and is not afraid to pull up, especially from that corner spot he loves so much. This time he makes it count, 2 in a row, and all of a sudden, Tufts hasn't really slowed down that much on the offensive end, and yet it is a 14-point basketball game.
Yeah, seeing a key part of that NESCAC championship winning side 2 years ago, and if you have experience with players like that who know how to get it done in the stretch, it can be really helpful, especially when you're fighting back from behind.
Hamilton outscoring Tufts 35-22 so far in the second half, and the big discrepancy, Tufts 0 for 8 from 3, Hamilton 5 of 10. It's a 15-point differential. Jumbos will look to get back on the board here as they continue to face this zone defense.
Yeah, Tufts, as you mentioned, gone cold from deep. Can they make the adjustments? This time, no, 0 for 9.
It's not going to work if we're taking threes that look like that. That was not a good shot to take. Maracas has done a lot of those deep threes that have been in really tough situations. And at this point in the game, you can't risk taking threes with that weak chance of hitting it.
Morgan, one-on-one with Riley. Tween to the rim, step back, jump shot. Rims out, board fought for, controlled by Hamilton, but stripped away. Going the other way. First fast break opportunity in a while. Here's Maracas, off glass, and 1!
And that's what James Maracas does. Deep miss on the last play. He collects it this time, finishing so well, coming up and over contact. Singh looked to slack off a little bit, didn't really commit to the contact, but it's just enough, and Maracas can make it a 3-point play.
And while Maracas hasn't been hitting from 3 this half, he has been consistently getting to the rim and doing the work there. He's had a few great assists to Bernstein while doing that, and then this time on the fast break, able to get the and 1.
And I mean, Jared, we would say that up until 10 seconds ago, Hamilton had a player named Mo on their team.
Our good friend.
Momentum. That's a critical play from Maracas to slow it down and keep this lead alive, perhaps give Tufts a little bit of life back.
Mo back in the neutral category. Here's Morgan. He draws the foul.
Making arguments to Mo.
Both
if that had gone in,
teams,
Mo, I think, would have been convinced.
both teams have a PowerPoint presentation. They're recruiting Mo. They want him on their side. Right now, 17-point ball game. Tufts still in control of this one. 4 minutes and 32 seconds to go. It's an uphill battle for Hamilton to get back into it, but they have been the better team here in the second half. Morgan hits the first. Pepper the dog has made an appearance in the JumboCast booth.
Always excited to see. Morgan 4 for 5, now 5 for 6 from the free throw line so far at this game. He has, like he has across the season, attempted the most free throws in this game. Really adept at getting to the line.
Hamilton has really their best 5 in the game. Jenkins, Rideout, and Reese, along with their 2 leading scorers, Singh and Hank Morgan. Now on the other end, Maracas. Jamesi's wide open under, didn't see him. Maracas, another block from Reese. We highlighted him coming into today. That's his 3rd block. He's done a good job on the defensive end. That'll be it for Zion Watt. Here comes John Medley.
And a block like that can really help get the team riled up, get them that momentum that they need. Jumbos have to respond well here.
17-point game, but it feels a lot closer. Maracas will try to control, throws it wildly back up. Riley has it taken away by Morgan. Morgan's got a fast break, and he'll throw it down. 2 hands for the finish.
I think Mo might be convinced now. Quite the play there from Hank Morgan. we talked about his steals coming in, and we see a crucial one there for the Continentals.
13 points now the lead. 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Zone defense still in play. Gettings finds Jamesi. Jamesi puts it on the ground, spins, finds Gettings, who doesn't finish, but gets the foul nonetheless. The Jumbos will take it 2 more at the line.
Got to give credit to Coach Stockwell of the Continentals, who has switched up his defensive alignment, and this zone defense has been working really well for the Continentals in the second half. Gettings able to get through here, but it's been forcing the Jumbos to take those looks from 3, which haven't been working well for them.
Gettings' first free throw bounces up, around, and in.
And Tufts looking cool and collected still on offense. Obviously, Hamilton playing up to it. Nice block on the last play by Reese, but Tufts really not making those kind of mistakes you can't afford down the stretch. They know that the Continentals might have Mo, but they have the oldest player in basketball on their side, Father Time. There are 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and this is still a 14-point game. Not insurmountable, but Hamilton's got to keep this streak going hot.
Bernstein at the scorer's table, so the Jumbos will look to bring their starting lineup back into the game to close this one out. Morgan for 3. No good, and either way, offensive foul on Jalen Reese. They say moving screen. Gettings will head to the bench. Bernstein back in the game. Both teams are going to look to ride it out with the 5 they have on the court.
And it's a great point, David, about those simple mistakes that the Jumbos have been avoiding this game. In that Wesleyan game down the stretch, there were a few charges and offensive fouls committed by the Jumbos in crunch time that really cost them. They have not been making those mistakes, those travels, those charges today, and having that not as an issue is crucial for the Jumbos.
Jamesi push shot off glass. He knocks it down. Still automatic around the rim. 80-64 is your score, and this one is all but over. Going to be virtually impossible for Hamilton to come back. They're still fighting hard, though. Singh goes to the rim. He wanted a foul. He might have deserved a foul. They'll call a block and out of bounds, so we'll stay Hamilton possession.
Dylan Riley coming in strong there at the end to swat the ball.
Oh, Hank Morgan throws it off the back of Josh Bernstein and puts it up and in. So even though Hamilton might not get out of here with a win, Hank Morgan's going to get out of here with another highlight play and another highlight performance. What a play from Morgan. Now under 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Inside, Jamesi blocked by Reese. He continues to do his job on the defensive end. Now 2-on-2, 3-on-2 on the break. Morgan tries to shoot, contested by Jamesi. Singh now, too strong. Tipped and controlled by Maracus, draws the foul. It'll go the other way.
And Hank Morgan now has his 30-piece, and he's showing off his basketball IQ. Look at this play. He knows Bernstein guards to the inbound receiver, sees that he's got his back turned, and there's nobody underneath for the Jumbos in that restricted area. And then on this side, feels Messi coming back, and the ability to turn on a dime and find Singh in the corner. Can't make it count, but the fundamentals on full display for Hank Morgan with a bit of flair.
Morgan's up to 30 on the day. 26 points in the second half. He has really come alive and is a large reason of the fact that Continentals have a hope in this game.
And Maracus can't get it to fall, so Hamilton needed that one.
Morgan, mid-range. He's doing anything. He'll draw a foul. Every possession down the floor, Morgan's looking to find his shot. As you mentioned, 30 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists so far on the day for Morgan. There, sets it up with the crossover. It's a beautiful move.
Looking at that replay there, it looked like Bernstein did get the ball, but maybe got a little bit of hand too when making that block. Here we see it again.
That's a tough one. You are allowed to high-five the offensive player if you're on defense. That's legal contact. Hand is part of the ball. You can't come down onto the hand, but the call right there, kind of hard to contest. So Morgan, he'll miss the first one anyways. We'll see. Maybe ball don't lie. He makes the second.
Ball is undecided.
Mo is undecided. The Jumbos are going to get out of here with a victory most likely unless something dramatic happens in the next 2 minutes.
Well, I mean, I think Mo is on the Continental side right now, and he's legally changed his name to Hank Morgan. But once again, might be too little too late, and I think if the Jumbos can hold out their possessions, maybe ball game.
13-point lead for the Jumbos. Bernstein underneath, up and in. A beautiful left-handed layup. We'll get one more timeout here. Here's Bernstein, controls underneath, and just such a strong move over the smaller Jalen Reese. Lead is back up to 15. Gonna be hard to cut into that one with 1:36 to go.
The Continentals are doing everything right that they need. They just can't stop this Jumbo's offense, though. They have been doing it exceptionally well on this offensive front, but the Jumbo is doing just enough to keep themselves with enough of a lead to stave off this Continental advance.
So despite a 12-point advantage in the half for Hamilton and a 15-point advantage from 3 in the second half, this one continues to be in control of the Tufts University Jumbos, and they will look to improve to 19-4 if they can get out of the last minute and a half here with a lead.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about they've done everything in the second half right, but I'm not even really sure there is a but. I mean, this Tufts team is always going to be collected on offense. To win this half by 12 shows the kind of basketball they've played. The only mistake they made in the second half was coming into it down 27.
Pretty much right. That one tipped out of bounds by Bernstein. For the Jumbos, Bernstein up to 20 points in the game, 9 of 10 from the field. Jamesi, a 26-point double-double. 10 rebounds, 6 of those on the offensive end. Hard to ask for a better performance from Jamesi. Continually strong defense, and the ball will go out of bounds with a foul called on John Medley.
Worth noting for the Continentals that both Singh and Morgan are off. Imagine their night is over. They have really done their work in the second half to get the Continentals back into this game, but looks like it's not going to be quite enough in this one.
Stowell will shoot 2 from the line. The lefty's first shot, no good.
And the underclassmen lineup now approaching the bench for the Jumbos. And the new set of fives will get their looks at the court for the final 123, something to show in these last few games of regular season play.
Theo Liu will enter the game alongside Evan Reeves, Robbie Nyanwama, and we will see Lucas Schmidt as well. He had a brief appearance earlier today.
Isaac Friedman on the court as well as the final Jumbo player.
We've gotten some opportunities to see these freshmen, some younger guys. Theo Liu, a senior. And it's been a mixed bag, but that is to be expected, mostly playing some late minutes against teams frustrated about the situation they're in. That's a good possession. Ball tipped, however. 1 minute now remaining. Shot clock running low. Hook shot is good. That's a nice move from the big fella. On the other end, pump fake, mid-range. Nice finish from Sharif Nelson.
That is actually the first points of his Tufts career for Robbie Nyamwaya. Big layup there.
And this game may be out of reach, but you can see that all these players enthusiastic to get their looks at the court and get these kind of matchups, try new things, and sort of cement places in the lineup because the intensity on the court is as if it was a one-point game right now.
Yeah, NESCAC teams fight hard, and they play to the buzzer. That's what we're seeing here today. All the way to the basket, left hand gets blocked, and a shot clock violation. They'll say out of bounds, Jumbo's ball. I think really that should have been a shot clock violation, and it should be Hamilton possession, but the Jumbos will take it. Now shot clock is off. They can run out the clock if they so choose. And they will do so. It looks like Theo Liu has the ball, and the Jumbos have a victory. Tufts University champions over the Hamilton College Continentals, 84-69. What looked like would be a blowout in the first half turned into a rather competitive game here in the second, but the Jumbos held on despite 30 points from the NESCAC leading scorer, Hank Morgan. It was the law firm of Jamesi and Bernstein that got it done. A combined 46 points and 12 rebounds between them. They carried the Jumbos today, and the Jumbos will walk out of here with a win and move to 19-4. Hamilton will fall to 17-5, their first road loss on the season as they came into today 12-0. My name is Jared Cohen. I've been joined by David Latham and Jake Flossie. Thank you for watching JumboCast. We will be back soon with a post-game interview. Thank you for listening here on JumboCast. Sorry about that. We will not be having a post-game interview, so that is it for today. Tufts University Jumbos get out of here with a win, 84-69. On behalf of our entire crew, my name has been Jared Cohen. Thank you for listening,